Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you guys about what's going on in the world. And I know that there are a lot of people right now with, if you're in the US, the election going on. It's very tense. And even if you're not in the US, you may still be feeling the tense anxiety and everything that's happening just because of the election in the United States. And while I'm here to really talk to you about spirituality and improving yourself, I wanted to take some time to talk to you about this today because there's a lot of conflicting things going around out there. I know personally, I am a follower of some spiritual teachers that I don't always agree with. And that doesn't mean that I don't love them as much as I do, just because we disagree. But there are some things I don't necessarily see the same way. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay to disagree and have a different opinion from others. And I can only tell you what I feel based on my own connection to Source and guidance that I am being given from Source. So there are a lot of people, no matter who you wanted to win the election, who are upset or maybe excited or whatever. There's a lot going on, but it's been a very stressful time. And the message that I kept channeling from the universe is do not lose hope. It doesn't matter who wins the election. What we need to do is to unite our country instead of dividing our country. And I know, of course, that there's one candidate talking more about division than another. I get that. But what I'm telling you is, I always trust that the outcome is going to be what it should be. Things are happening, justice is coming around. But what we can't let it do is rob us of our peace as much as we want to. Let me tell you something. In the last election, I cried the whole way to work the next day because I could not believe the results. I thought we were being punked and there was something happening. And if you're on the other side and you disagree with me, I still love you. I don't care. I'm just saying personally, it bothered me. It bothered me because I heard a person saying such vile things about people and picking on people. And you know me, you know my platform. It goes against everything in every fiber of my being. I'm all about love and peace and harmony. And this person is harping on making fun of disabled people and making fun of women and talking about them, about their looks and everything else. And it just got me in my soul and was one of the reasons. I think it was part of the trigger for my spiritual awakening because I was thinking, what is going on? Like, why are so many people blind to how cruel this person is? I don't get it. I don't get it. And as a teacher, I can tell you that over the past few years, we have seen a rise in bullying in the classroom because some kids are emboldened because the president says I can say it. He says it. Why can't I? And that's probably been the most disheartening thing for me to watch is knowing that our kids see us as an example. And we want our kids to be better. We want to be raising children who are tolerant and who are open-minded and who respect one another regardless of their beliefs. I mean, there's always a way you can come to the middle if you work at it. If you have the mindset that if you believe differently than I do, then we can't be friends and I hate you and all of this, then it's never going to work. But there is a way to meet in the middle because like I said, I have spiritual mentors that I don't always believe the same thing that they do on every situation. On everything, every level, we don't agree 100% and that's okay. Because it's all about your own journey and discovering who you are and thinking for yourself. You don't have to agree with one person 100% of the time. I mean, that would be really impossible to do, because our fallacy as humans is to believe that everyone thinks the same way we do, and they don't. And that's okay. They don't have to. But there are some things that we have to do, and that is maintain humanity and decency in a time like this. And so what we can't do is go to a place where we're going to spew hate at one another, because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help, especially if people you're spewing hate at aren't listening anyway, because if they disagree with you, they're probably only listening to what you say in order to be able to respond back to you, not to listen so that you can come to some sort of agreement. But the message I keep getting from the universe is to never lose hope. Okay, I know it seems like we're very divided right now, but this is all part of it. It's like we have to fall apart in order to come back together. And we are going to come back together again. It's not going to look the same as it did before, but that's all part of it. The universe is saying, it's okay. Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. I know what you're seeing looks ugly, and it does. And it might look scary to you. And for some of you, your anxiety levels may be through the roof. And I'm here to just calm you down a little bit and let you know that it's going to be okay. It is. No matter what our outcome is, if we all decide that we're going to get along, that we're going to come together, that we're going to start being nicer, and it's a choice we all make. And we can do our part by being the person who decides, I'm going to be the bigger person, I'm going to lend an olive branch. And that doesn't mean that if somebody does something horrid, you're like, oh yes, I agree with you. No, that's not what it means. It just means that for you to put all of your energy out there hating people is wasting energy. And it's not directing it in a positive way. Instead, we need to be taking our energy and funneling it into ways where we can actually make the society better. So if the election really bothered you and you're like, this isn't right, why don't you go and volunteer to work for the next election? You know what I mean? It's like, try to find ways where you can take what you're seeing and what you don't like about it and be the change. If I don't like my situation, I change it. So we can do that. We can go out there and we can make a difference by changing the things that we don't like. Okay, but we also need to be standing up for our fellow man. I really, truly believe that. As Dr. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So if we see injustices happening all around us, we need to do our part, to do what we can to help those who can't help themselves, who don't have a voice. But we can't do that if we're angry and we're fighting, and that's not constructive. What is constructive is finding ways to go out and make change. I know so many people who were very discouraged before the election. So what they did was they put all of their time and energy into volunteering, and they called people and they went out door to door and registered voters. That is a positive way to make a change. And why I'm telling you this is because there are some spiritual leaders out there who will tell you, like, ignore it, don't pay attention to the election, don't do anything, or they say many different things. And I don't think that's realistic. I don't think you can live in our society and ignore what's happening. You just can't. I mean, we can tune out to a degree. We can be off social media. We can selectively watch the news. But I don't think that burying your head in the sand and pretending like things aren't happening is a good piece of advice either. And the reason I'm talking about this today is if you're one of those people out there who's feeling so frustrated or so anxious because of what's happening around us, I would urge you to channel that anger and frustration into something positive. And there's so many ways you can do that. You can go and volunteer. One of the biggest things that I have seen from this election is there is so much misinformation out there, and people will believe anything. They really will. They don't fact check, and they don't go and see if the information they're being given comes from any kind of credible source. And that is a problem. And so one of the things you can do is to volunteer with educational programs. We need those kinds of programs, especially now, because we have so many kids who are doing remote learning and they're struggling. And I've been seeing every day parents who are frustrated posting online, help, I can't help my child with his or her homework, and I'm failing at this, virtual learning. And we're all in the same boat, guys. It's tough for everybody. It's tough for the teachers. It's tough for the parents. It's tough for the students. It just is what it is. And right now it's just not an ideal situation. But there are things we can do to help one another. I've seen communities organize where through Zoom, or even in small settings where it's safe, parents will get their kids together for study groups so that they can help one another. And I think that's a fabulous idea, especially if you do it through Zoom. That's totally safe. And the kids will probably enjoy being together, even if it's just online. And they can help one another out, If they're not understanding something, maybe another student is, they can help. And I've seen people volunteering to tutor kids online too. So if that's something you're passionate about, you can make a difference by volunteering, just posting on Facebook somewhere. Hey, I'm willing to tutor. If your kids need help, we can jump on Zoom, or, if the parents feel safe and you feel safe going to their home and wearing a mask or whatever to help them with tutoring, that would be a huge help for a lot of people. And I'm telling you this because I know there's a lot of people feeling so many emotions. We can channel those in a positive way. And we don't have to feel the anxiety every day. First of all, I truly believe everything is going to work out. I always believe that. And I know that it's not necessarily going to happen overnight, but it is going to happen, and I don't worry about it. If I start to feel anxious, I stop, I take a deep breath, I close my eyes, and I say, okay, God, I know I'm out of alignment. How can I get back into alignment? What can I do? And for the most part, the message that I keep getting is, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Every little thing is going to be all right. And that Bob Marley song, it's come up for me, and that I've turned on the radio and it's on. I walked into a restaurant and it was on a sign. I went to post on social media and it was a sign that came up that I reposted. So it's coming up over and over again. Every little thing's going to be all right. So don't lose hope in that. Keep your faith. But the most important thing to me is that we not remain divided. That doesn't help anyone. What was it Abraham Lincoln said? A house divided cannot stand. It's true. We can't work together with all of this divisiveness. It just doesn't work. And part of the reason I believe that we come here is to experience love, unconditional love, and to show that love and that light out into the world and to others. And you can't do that if you're name calling. And I've seen so many people who will say, I respect what you say, and try to throw out things that sound very zen. But then in the next sentence, they're saying awful things to people. And I just want to say, no, that's not how that works. You can't be one way for 5 minutes and then switch your position and be a different way long enough to cut someone down. It doesn't work that way. It's very hypocritical. We don't have to like what everyone has to say. And you can disagree with someone in a very cordial way. You really can. I know, I've seen it. You don't have to agree with someone. But I've had that myself. I posted something about the Berlin Wall because I'm a teacher, and I said, walls don't really work, and here's proof. And I really was only talking about because it was the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. People I don't even talk to. Really didn't know I was friends with them because, you start friending people on Facebook and then you don't see everyone's posts every day. It's people I didn't even know, really, pop up on my posts to start arguing. I'm like, you can't argue about the Berlin Wall. It's history. We know it happened and it didn't work. You can't argue that. But they're just arguing anything. I think people sometimes just get on social media to argue for the sake of arguing. And we've gotten away from what the point is, which is if you're going to argue, that's fine. Debating is one thing and it's healthy to debate. You better come with facts, not with your opinions of what things are. That's how you keep it cordial, is when you don't name call and you just say, well, here's some facts that back up what I'm saying or that refute what you're saying. It can be done in a way that's very constructive and positive. But we're so used to this social media where everyone has an avatar that we can hide behind. So whatever we say, we don't have to face the consequences because it's not really us saying it, right? I think that's what people really think. And then how awkward is it when you see those people in real life and you're thinking to yourself, you were really a jerk to me online and I didn't do anything to provoke you. I was just stating something that I believed in. We've really got to get away from being so mean and cruel online. We really do. Because you wouldn't say the things you say to people's faces that you say online. And there are consequences. And people really need to get away from that. That's why I love so many people that I'm friends with have started just posting things like I do online every day. Like, hey, there's so much hate and so much meanness out there, and let's try to turn this around and let's be positive. So they start posting positive things online. And I love that. And I know some of you do it too, because I follow some of you on social media. And you'll either post really positive things or you'll post funny things. And I love that. I think we need more of that. I love when people post the funny things because it changes your day in just a second to go and think about it. You go to social media just to, see what's going on, and you see a negative, mean, ugly, hateful tweet or Facebook post. Instantly, you're like, ugh, and that's more of your energy depleted. Yet on the other hand, you go and you see an inspirational thing, and you think to yourself, that was just the thing I needed. In fact, somebody commented that to me today on something I posted on social media. They said, thank you for bringing me just a moment's relief in this day that was so stressful. That's why I do it. That's what I want. That's my goal, is just to make you feel a little bit better than maybe you did before. And if more of us did that, if more of us said, hey, I'm going to post something here that's going to brighten your day just a little bit. It's awesome. We're doing this thing in school now, and it's for Thanksgiving, and you get gobbled, as they say. And so someone picks you and they give you a gift from $7 to $8 range, and then you have to pass it on and do it to somebody else, and you're not supposed to know who did it to you. And it's really kind of cool. I was one of the first people who got gobbled. As you say, we laugh about how that sounds, but they, put a card on my door and I got an Amazon gift card, and it was like, oh, wow, this is cool. This really did brighten my day. And then I, in turn, got to go and do that for someone else. And that made me feel good too. The act of me receiving something felt good, but me being able to give to someone else felt even better. So even there's an idea too. What if you just started a kindness chain where you just did that? Where you just gift people, and it doesn't have to be anything big, but doesn't it make you feel really good? Like, let's say you're at work and you leave your desk for a second and you come back and someone's left like a candy bar on your desk or something that they know you like. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but it totally shifts your day. And we need more of that. We need to unite and not divide. We need to realize that we are all one. We have all had different experiences. Our journeys are all different, but we still come from the same place. We are all made from divine love, and that's where we're returning when we leave this place. So we need to really figure it out. We've got to figure out how to coexist. I really, truly believe that that is the true lesson here, is learning how to coexist. I posted something on Facebook the other day. I had a professor at SIUE, at Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville, and he was such an amazing man, and he still is. I just haven't seen him in a while. And he was a professor who was from Nigeria, and he told us all kinds of proverbs. He taught them to us. And the very first day of class, when we came in, he had up a list of all of these things that were failures of a person, and we were supposed to try to figure out who it was. And it ended up being Abraham Lincoln, but you would never have known that or guessed it, because at the time, the internet is not nearly as big as it is now, and most of us hadn't Googled it, or we couldn't Google it, and you didn't learn about these things. At least I didn't, about Abraham Lincoln, which you think I would, coming from Illinois, the land of Lincoln, but we didn't learn about that in school. That, he had a failed first attempt at getting into office, and that I think he had a failed suicide attempt, and that his girlfriend, or I think he might have been engaged to her fiance, passed away. And there's just all of these things that you never learn about Lincoln. Go look it up if you want to. It's fascinating. And he overcame all of that and went on to become president. And most people would have just given up, and they would have said, no, I can't do this anymore. This is just too much. And he didn't. He kept going. And then eventually he became the president. And his point was, he was very inspirational like that. Like, don't give up, and never give up on your students, because this is what Abraham Lincoln had to endure in order to get to where he was. And you're going to have students who have challenging backgrounds, and they're going to have to get through a lot to get where they're going, but you can help them. And so he just so inspirational, right? Had us in tears. And he taught us this African proverb that says, when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. Basically, what he was saying is, when the adults fight, the children are the ones who suffer, because they're watching us. They're watching us for an example. And what kind of an example are we showing them right now? Not a very good one. It's not a very good one at all. And I know I've had discussions with both of my children about, what's going on and what we can do. And my daughter just gets so mad when there's injustice anywhere. She really does. She's like a fighter and wants to take up the cause for everyone. I love that about her, because it's just endearing. It's like she wants to save everyone. I hope that doesn't become a detriment to her one day, but she's just such a sweet, kind-hearted child. And so is my son. And he's the same way, but he's just not so outspoken about it. He's not on Facebook or anything like that. And my daughter is, and she's, posting for the cause and all of these things. And my son is a very, very kind-hearted soul and would do anything for anyone. And my daughter is like the fighter. I'm going to go out there and find justice for people. And I don't know, I love her spirit. And we've had these conversations, and we've had conversations about what people are posting online. And, I tell her, watch what you post, don't be posting things that are calling people names and things like that, because that doesn't help your argument. Post facts, just make people aware, educate people. And I think we need more of that. We just need people to pay attention to what we're posting, pay attention to what we're looking at, and pay attention to how we're responding to people. Because the arguing, all of that, it doesn't help. We need to be listening for the sake of listening and finding solutions, and not listening for the sake of arguing back. Because most people are listening for how they're going to respond to someone. So they're not even really listening. Just, if you say this, I'm going to say this. We're listening for debate and not listening for, can we find somewhere in the middle? Can we find common ground? Because it's there. Of course, common ground is there. People have been finding it for centuries. There is a way to do it. And I think now is the time for us to come together as a nation, as a planet, to try to bring some love and kindness back into the world, because it's needed. It's so desperately needed. There are evil forces out there everywhere trying to make you think that darkness is the only thing out there and it's going to win, and that's not the case. It's not. But we have to fight the darkness with our light, with our kindness, with our love, with our compassion. That's what's going to fight the darkness. And the light will always win. So keep the faith. Don't lose heart. We're almost there. We just got to keep pushing a little longer. We're going to be there. And every little thing is going to be all right. All right, guys, I wanted to pull a card for you today, and the card I pulled is from my deck, Divine Whispers, and it's feeling lost or stuck. Lately, it seems like you have been feeling lost or stuck in a situation. It seems like nothing is happening. The universe wants you to know that your prayers have been heard, and work is being done behind the scenes on your behalf. You simply need to let go of control and let go of attachment to any particular outcome. The universe is guiding your steps now. Simply ask for direction and then watch the signs as they come. Take a deep breath, my love. You are being taken care of. Believe that. Feel the relief that comes from knowing that it is okay not to have all of the answers just yet. Just know that things are working out in divine timing for you. And there are a few mantras that go with this card. The first one is, at the end of the day, my heart is at peace. I know that I am being taken care of. The universe is working behind the scenes on my behalf. I am not stuck. I have just been stuck in patterns of behavior that don't serve me. I have the power to release myself at any time, simply by remembering who I am. All right, guys, I love that. You are not stuck, but if you feel like you need some help getting unstuck or remembering who you are, you can always work with me. If you want to work with me, you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com, and there you will see all of the services I offer. You can purchase a session with me online. And when you want to set it up, simply contact me and we will schedule your session. I have evening availability right now after 4 Central, and some Saturdays and Sundays, early afternoon, late morning. All of my sessions are done online through Zoom, so you never have to leave the comfort of your own home. Don't forget, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave me a positive review from wherever you're listening. If you could leave me some stars on iTunes, I would super appreciate that. Thank you to those of you who have done that, and to those of you who have shared this podcast with others. I am very humble and grateful for all of you. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I post free guided meditations to my YouTube channel. I also post videos to Instagram, and I do a free card reading on Facebook Live Mondays at 6:30 Central. So join me. If you show up for the live, I will pull a personal card just for you. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me. My book is still available. It is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Goodreads. And also the audio book is available. All of the links for that on how to purchase is in the show notes. So don't forget to go purchase that. It would make a great Christmas present for someone. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. I am sending you guys so much love and light. Do not worry about anything. Every little thing is going to be all right. I will see you guys again later. Take care. I love you guys. Bye.